Hello, I'm Sumarpung and welcome to my channel. In this opportunity, I will share and discuss my experience in a topic that might be of interest for you that specialize in sales role, the corporate sales management. I will also share my experience from a large global company that implemented a formal corporate sales management for the very first time. They have been successful in running their sales operations since then and had become their best practices. I will put all of my sharing into a series of 23 videos, so let's start. And due to the pandemic, which requires social distancing, client buying behavior may change. So in this case, we like to understand and to anticipate how corporate selling and corporate sales management might change as well. Specifically, do we sell differently? Do we manage sales differently? Do we need new skills? And so on. And a bit about myself. My career and interests are in corporate sales management, developing custom software for small, medium, and large corporations, and cloud mobile application development, and also teaching graduate students. My sales experience started at Microsoft Indonesia so many years ago. I would say it was lots and lots of learning over there. I've seen how business was run, how channels were managed, and how sales management was first implemented. For you, new to sales role, you might ask, what's interesting about sales role? Well, sales is a great profession. They play critical roles inside corporations. Basically, they bring revenue and success to corporations. So, for successful salespeople, they can earn big salaries, big bonuses, and lots of perks. For example, when they travel in business class using business class airlines, 5-star hotels, expensive restaurants. And if their clients play golf, then the company will also give golf course membership for the salespeople. So, if you want to be a successful salesperson, stay in tune. For the purpose of this discussion, we see two different sales groups in a typical sales organization. The first group is the sales group. Account managers and their counterparts are in this group. We will talk in more details about other roles beside account managers in the sales group in another episode of this video series. The sales group main task is to engage clients, so they spend most of their time on the field with their clients. The second group is the sales management group. Sales managers, general managers, and sales directors are in this group. Well, I want to highlight here that what I meant by sales manager here is not a senior account manager that was given a title of sales manager on his business cards. This sales management group, their main task is to manage sales process and lead the sales group. So they spend most of the time with the sales group and top management. Well, it doesn't mean that they don't engage client. It just means that they spend more time with sales group and top management rather than with the clients. Another special note here that I like to highlight is that great account managers or account managers that are historically successful, they do not automatically make great sales managers. For them, moving to sales management role will require new skill sets. Next, I want to highlight trainings that are commonly available for sales people. For sales group, we simply call it as sales training. The duration is typically between 1 or 2 days, and I would say this training type is most common and most popular. It's widely offered and available in market. You can search up the web in your region and it will show you many offerings with a variety of curriculum, either soft skill, motivational, personal development, etc. etc. For sales management group, the typical training duration is between 2 or 3 days. And for some reasons, which I still cannot understand well, this training type is more scarce compared to the one for sales group, which is the sales training. I want to highlight a few more things on sales management training. The sales management training, which duration is between 2 or 3 days, the format is usually theory plus exercise, where the exercise is using dummy data, not real client data. The problem of using dummy data is, first, the trainees cannot see the benefits directly because it's not using the client data that the salespeople are using daily. So it's easily forgotten for them. After several weeks, they might forget the training. So in this case, training is more effective if exercise uses real data. So there are two options here. First option is to use internal trainers, so there won't be any issue with data confidentiality. Or the second option is to use external trainers but with non-disclosure agreement. Now I'd like to talk about a common misconception about corporate sales management implementation. Many people think that to implement corporate sales management, it's just sending sales management group for training. Well, it turns out that the 2 days or 3 days sales management training is not sufficient for a successful corporate sales management implementation. So the questions, what else are needed? To understand this, let's see a success story from a global company. This global company has about 50,000 employees worldwide. Its headquarters is in the US, and it has subsidiaries in many countries around the world. This is just an illustration of its global sales organizational structure, which has many layers, from the very top layers where the top executives reside at the headquarters, all the way to the bottom layer in each subsidiary where the local account managers reside. With such a large and geographically diverse structure, you can imagine the challenges that this company have in managing its salespeople. There were very well understood the challenges in implementing and rolling out corporate sales management throughout the company that have thousands of salespeople. It's a major and risky undertaking. So what they did was they devised a comprehensive implementation program. They hired a sales consulting company at the headquarters to develop standard sales process and methodology. It's a customized one for them. They developed supporting tools and materials like CRM, templates, etc. They developed training curriculums and rolled it out in all subsidiaries worldwide. What's interesting is the trainers came directly from headquarters. The goal was to maintain quality standards across subsidiaries. You can imagine if each subsidiary used local trainers, then these local trainers must have a very deep understanding about the sales process and methodology before they can perform the training. So, to maintain quality standard, they use trainers directly from headquarters, not using local trainers. The training curriculum is a combination of theory, workshop, and coaching in one cycle, and the cycles are repeated for a period of several months. This workshop used real and current sales data. It was highly effective. Of course, it was very costly, but for them, very well justified. This picture illustrates the cycles of theory, workshop, and coaching. Now, look at the first cycle above. On day 1, they conducted half-day theory and half-day workshop in class. And on the following day, day 2, they continued with half-day theory and half-day workshop also in class. Then, for the next 6 days, the account managers went back to the field to engage clients using the new theory they had just got in the class and were coached along the way. This 8 working day period constituted one cycle, and they continued with the second cycle and then with the third cycle and so on until all the curriculum were completely delivered. This whole cycle took 7 months to complete. Now, let's see what were the critical success factors of this implementation program. It turned out the single most important critical success factor was the top management support in enforcing discipline amongst the salespeople. For example, if data is not in CRM, then they assume data does not exist. And they don't skip weekly pipeline review. So even though this program was usually considered belong to the salespeople, which meant the sales management group was the one responsible for this program, but actually the ownership of this implementation program should always be with the top management. And for the sake of the success of this program, the ownership cannot be delegated. And why is that? We'll see in more details about this matter in later episode of this video series. And then, how was the result? The results turned out to be according to their expectations. They could achieve consistently strong year-on-year revenue growth. They could also achieve accurate revenue forecast, which was helpful in setting up sales target accurately. They were previously underdog in the enterprise space. Then they turned around and became the market leader in the enterprise space. And all of these experiences had become their best practices. Now let's talk about best practices. What are best practices? Well, here is a simple definition. Best practices are practices that are accepted or prescribed as being correct or most effective as the result of years of experiences in practicing the theory and methodology from sales management training. So this new video series is about best practices in corporate sales management. It's a comprehensive review of best practices in corporate sales management. It contains several episodes, and the main focus is to understand what's important, what works, what doesn't work, and the critical success factors. The purpose of this corporate sales management series is sharing best practices in corporate sales management. The goal is so other companies can learn and enjoy the real benefit of corporate sales management. The benefits of this series for sales managers or sales management is to learn and transform yourself to become a great sales leader, and for account managers to learn and transform yourself to become great salesmen and prepare yourself to become future sales leader, and for management to adopt best practices and boost your company revenue growth systematically. In the next episode, we will take a closer and deeper look at corporate sales management. We will also see the corporate sales management practices in the new normal condition. See you next time.